Okay, here's what I learned about being on Uber and their advanced mode for almost 2 weeks. The apps, the algorithm, they do have the ability to give you better offers. They're showing us. Uber recently did a thing where they allowed a one-time deal, I'm assuming, where they allow everybody to automatically go to Advantage mode instead of standard, where they send you all the trash. They allowed you to start fresh on Advantage mode. I think like at 50% acceptance rate. I think they put you right about there, and you got to be at least 25% acceptance rate to be in Advantage mode, which sounds easy. It sounds easy, but if you're a veteran, it's not, because you will have to cherry pick. You will definitely have to cherry pick. There's no way around it, or you won't make enough money that day because you'll be driving too far for scraps. But it started off good, and this proves to me that they have the ability to give you better offers. They didn't give me hardly any man, I'm drawing a blank. Trip radar. They didn't hardly give me any trip radar. So I'm assuming they somewhat turn that off when you hit Advantage mode, because I think each day I might have got like 2 trip radar requests the whole day. It was like moving smooth, everything was good, the offers were better. They were giving me basically close to what Lyft was paying me, but a lot more offers. So it felt good for a while. I was getting back-to-back rides. They were local for the most part. Every now and then they'll throw in a long ride, but if you didn't accept any, you would go back into just getting short rides. And the short rides were paying slightly better. Instead of the short rides, they were paying like $3.95. They were offering you closer to $5 and $6, for example. But after almost 2 weeks, slowly but surely, my acceptance rate started going down, because they started playing games where they would test you and throw out a shitty offer after shitty offer, and then throw you another good one. So you might have got like one good offer for every 5 bad offers. And I was like, it started off good. What are they doing? They're testing you. They're testing you to see if you're going to start taking everything because they gave you a break in Advantage mode. No, we're still going to cherry pick. We're still going to get the best rides for us. And for a while, I was making my quota in like less time. I would cut it down by an hour, and it felt kind of good for a while, but I knew it wouldn't last. And I had Lyft in between to like buffer it, but Lyft, for some reason, it's almost like the algorithms could read each other, because Lyft just stopped giving me all good offers now that I'm taking more Uber. It's crazy. And slowly but surely, I dropped under the 25%, and then they start giving me more trip radar like always, and they were testing me. They were seeing if I would start taking these long rides. If they sprinkle in like 5 good short rides, will he take this long ride that we can make the money back on? And I wouldn't take them. I wouldn't bite. A lot of people will probably bite. Like my neighbor, he prefers to do more Uber. It would have worked on him. He would have took that one long ride, and then they would have kept giving him good offers, and he stays slightly above 25%. Which is really becoming difficult because the offers are that bad on Uber. Not saying Lyft is much better, but like I said, on the shorter rides, Lyft has been paying me consistently slightly better on the short rides. they will throw outrageous long rides out there just like Uber. It's almost like the apps are testing you. We'll see if you're stupid enough to take this one. Like a 15-minute pickup for a 5-minute trip, and you only pay me $5. Who's going to take that? No one. Oh, that was another thing. When I was in advanced mode, I noticed I got a lot less shared rides. So I got less trip radar, I got less shared rides. So the platform benefits you for taking almost anything, because occasionally they'll sprinkle in a lot more better offers, but you're going to have to take the garbage to stay there. And I refuse to take the garbage to stay in advanced mode. I just refuse. Point blank, period. And now my acceptance rate is back. Thank God this journey is almost over for me, guys, because this is the year that I'm officially going private. I know I said it last year, but this is the year where I officially go private, but I'm also going in a direction of doing my online business at the same time. So, or focusing on my online business. I already had it, but focusing on it more the affiliate marketing side, because this just ain't fun anymore, you know. And what I mean by fun is I found some joy in being a rideshare driver with the passengers. Believe it or not, most of the passengers were somewhat enjoyable. Yeah, you'll get one or two bad people in a day, but most were friendly, kind, especially lately. This year, I don't know what it is, maybe New Year resolution, but I've been getting a lot more tips, particularly this month. Maybe people know it's a slower month, but people have been tipping. Or it could be my strategy works. My theory is that people don't tip you on necessarily the performance of your driving. If you're completely quiet and you just get somebody to point A to point B, you'll probably won't get a tip. But if you're, even on the short rides, if you create a conversation that a person enjoys and contributes to the conversation, that's how you know they want to talk. Because sometimes they'll just close up, you know, might be a business person, and they'll close up and you can tell they don't want to talk. And they'll be like, huh? And you'll be like, oh, never mind, sir. And, you know, you could tell. But when they start contributing to the conversation, and it's an enjoyable conversation, at least for me, you will almost always get a tip if they can afford it. Some people can't afford it. But if they can afford it, you will almost every time get a tip. I got the same guy 3 times in a week, and every single time he gave me a tip. And it was decent tips, like $5 tip, which I consider decent. You know, 5 and above is exceptional. You know, anything above 5. And I realized that that's how you get tips. You really just got to create a really enjoyable conversation. I mean, you can't be all over the road, but if you get them there safely and the conversation was good, you're getting a tip. If you just get them there and you're just completely quiet and closed off, and you know your eyes are red because you've been driving 12 hours that day, you're probably not even going to get a tip. The car must not necessarily be exceptional, but basic clean. I keep my car basic clean. What basic clean is, you literally just do a basic vacuum, none spectacular, and you keep an air freshener or 2 in the car. That's it. You know, seats could be a little worn. You know, my tent's starting to peel. Not exceptional, but I've had people get in my car and be like, oh, this is clean. So imagine what the other drivers are doing, because they must be really, really, really nasty, because this car's average clean, very average. You know, very average smelling. It just doesn't smell bad, but it doesn't smell over the top neither. It's just a basic air freshener. I try to vacuum it. I only vacuum out once a week. That's it. Once a week, a basic vacuum on the floors, particularly, especially in this weather, because there's a lot of salt and ice on the rugs or carpet. But nothing crazy. And as long as you do that, I found that the average person is going to give you a good star rating. Sometimes they'll compliment if they can't afford a tip. But like I said, if the conversation's good, you're almost always getting a tip. But this advantage mode crap that Uber is doing is not helping the company. You're not. I think the strategy was this. The strategy was, if Uber got at least half of the people that they gave advantage mode to stay in advantage mode, they'll be in the hamster wheel, because they got to take at least some bullshit offers to stay advantage mode. Because they did it with me. They started warning me. I got to about 24%, and they're like, you're in danger of losing your advantage mode. Send me better offers. And that's when, right when you get close to losing it, they send you a bullshit offer that's far away that they know you're not going to take. And a lot of times it's about a certain town. Like, I noticed Hartford, if you just stayed, there's a tip for drivers that like Hartford, Connecticut. If you stay in Hartford, Connecticut all day, or not even just Hartford, like stay in the general area, East Hartford, West Hartford, just stay in the general area all day, the app will reward you for that. But a lot of drivers, they avoid the traffic out there. That's the problem. They know you're avoiding the traffic, so you almost got to suffer to stay relevant with Uber. But if you stayed in Hartford all day, you will stay in advantage mode. You'll make money, but you'll find that you'll be driving really far. You'll be going to the airport almost every day. The airport from Bradley Airport from Hartford doesn't pay well at all. You'll be lucky if you make $15 from Hartford to Bradley Airport, because you're in the minds of the app, you're close, even though you're about 15, 20 minutes away, depending on where you are. You're not going to make a lot of money. You're just not. But you'll get your quota faster, I believe, because you'll get so many bullshit offers that you'll hit your quota early, and you could possibly go home before the really bad traffic. It's a possibility, especially if you start in the morning. You don't even got to start super early. I'm talking like 6, 7 in the morning, and you drive till maybe like that afternoon. I would say about 2, you could probably be done. If your quota is $100, $150, you're done. You want 200, drive a little longer, but a lot of times you want to stop before that 3 p.m. traffic, because then you're stuck and can't even get home, and you're in Hartford and you're struggling to get home because there's so much traffic. That's what I'm not feeling. I'm not feeling the traffic, so I do cherry pick and try to avoid that town and try to go to smaller towns like Plainville, Southington, Bristol, because I'm trying to get in and out. You know, I don't get a lot of offers in those little towns, but I like to get in and out. You know, try to get bob and weave. There's not as much traffic, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's my theory on the advantage mode. I will say it did feel good for the first 2 weeks, until it dropped. But I just refuse to take those, especially the long rides where it was a 15-minute pickup I believe, to go to like Bristol, and it takes somebody another 20 minutes to somewhere in Waterbury, and it was only paying like $11. Come on. Come on. It's like they're completely not counting the pickup. Yes, this is another video where I rant and complain about Uber. And I know it's not going to get better, but I'm going to rant anyway. My plan for 2026 is to focus more on my online stuff, because that's going to free me up from getting out of this rat race a lot sooner. I'm still going to be in transportation, but it might not necessarily be focusing on Uber and Lyft. I might steal some customers from them, but I think I'm going in the direction of delivery with the transportation side. It's just easier, less headaches. You know, I like dealing with people, but packages seem to be the better direction. And you could probably keep your car cleaner. It's my theory. I want to get in the medical delivery field to be correct or be precise. And if I could do that part-time and eventually make full-time income on the online side, I win. My credit score is going up. I'm starting a new LLC for my holding company. So things are moving slowly but surely. So I'm really expecting this to be the last year. I'll keep the apps, you know, and occasionally I might do something like drive for Uber and Lyft just on the weekends. You know, something like that, where it's a little bit less traffic. I might do that. That might be the goal, you know. And because I'm getting in the software direction, I might play with the idea. There's so many no-code software tools in this AI space. I might build an app for fun. Build my own app. You never know. I might rent cars to like Uber drivers and be like, yeah, try out our app. See what happens. We get like 3 drivers on the app, and they tell them to start passing it out to their Uber and Lyft people. You never know. Never know. Could take off. Could make some extra money for this next 5 years. And then if the automation kicks in, you can still say we made some money. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for the continued support, you know, on the channels. I greatly appreciate it. This is the Nice Guy Driver. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Thank you.